in the last few hours, you would recall that we have been talking about the development in Bimbilla. Now, we want to put the entire northern part of the country in perspective, because we know that quite a number of the conflicts recorded seem to have been coming from the northern part of the country. Now, governments successively have come up with the SADA and then other projects or initiatives to ensure that there is enough development for the northern part of the country. It doesn't seem to be moving quite smoothly. And then also, what kind of impact is the conflict having on businesses or business activities? We've been joined in studio by an executive of SADA who would help us see the kind of impact that we're talking about and how it is affecting business and life in general, because not only market women are affected, but people who would want to come and invest in the northern part of the country may have a few concerns. Major on their list would be issues of conflict. We've been joined by Bismarck Ayorogo Adongo. He's the Executive Secretary of the SADA Zone Civil Society Organizations, and we want to talk about this conflict. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good afternoon.
All right, to start
Thanks
with,
for having me.
Yes, is it that we down south just hear of what's happening there and think it is as big as it is, or it really isn't an issue?
Once again, thank you very much for the opportunity. I think today is a sad day for the people of Ghana, more particularly the people of northern Ghana, because one life, even lost, is so precious that we cannot afford, particularly that the reports have it that they are women and children. These are poor and vulnerable groups in society, that the least violence that we engage in, they are the hardest hit. So it is unfortunate. It is something that is worrying, disturbing. It is something that our coalition condemns, and we think that government needs to do more to ensure that perpetrators of this heinous crime.
Do you think the issue of mere condemnation is enough? But for now, though, we just want to focus mainly on the kind of impact it is having on life and business. You know, because we know a lot of these women are market for people from the northern part of the country. Majority are farmers and market women. How is it affecting them directly?
Certainly, it has a serious impact on the lives of the people and development of the Northern Savannah Ecological Zone, because people will be so scared to go about their normal businesses. And this will really reinforce poverty, hunger, and deprivations in the area. I can even say that on the 6th of this month, when SADA officials were in their offices thinking of what to do with investors, with Ghana Development Partners, a group of young people alleged to be supporters of one political party marched to the authority and sacked everybody out of the office, locked up the offices, and went away. So this lawlessness is something that is really having a heavy toll on the development of the Northern Savannah Ecological Zone. And it seriously undermines efforts of advocates like myself for an accelerated development of Northern Ghana. We have over the...
Is it possible that we'll come to whether or not clear strategies being outlined by previous government and the current one would bring some proper finality to the conflict? But have you perchance heard a foreign investor or people who are interested in going to the northern part to invest raise concerns as a result of the conflicts there?
Yes, I have. We as civil society organization in 2016 decided to mobilize citizens from the area for us to collate their development priorities and submit to SADA to incorporate or mainstream into their master development plan. And one of the critical issues that the people raised was the fact that peace and conflict management need to be key in this plan. And I spoke with some of the SADA officials, and they said that there are a number of key investors, there are a number of key development partners that are still not convinced that they will put the security of their investment will be guaranteed because of the periodic violence behavior of the people. Experts have often told us that if we look at conflicts in general in the entire country. More conflicts are in the southern part of the country. But when it comes to violent conflicts, they are more pronounced in the northern part of the country. It means the least provocation, then we resort to violence. The legal processes are there. The institutions that can adjudicate on all these matters are there. But in most cases, a good number of the people in the northern Savannah area always resort to violence.
So issues of conflict is actually countrywide. The management of it is a national issue, but the northern part, most conflicts tend violence.
Yes, most conflicts tend violence, violent conflicts. And I remember, I wouldn't want to mention the investor's name, who once made a remark that capital and investment are cowards. They do not go where there is insecurity. And because of that, until the good people of northern Ghana demonstrate beyond measure that investment will be secured, investment will be guaranteed, no house will be burnt, no offices will be locked, no person will be shot dead in the farm, they will not put their money into agriculture.
Very unfortunate, and some of the issues you're raising sound very surprising to some of us. But we go back to the phone lines now to find out from our reporter, Zubaida Ismail. Zubaida, good afternoon. Can you hear me now? Hello, Zubaida.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, good afternoon to you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good afternoon. I can hear you.
Good. The last time we spoke, you told us that the death toll was 10. Is this still that, or we have an increase in the number?
Yes, the death toll is still at 10, though the district police commander, Ben Ania, is saying that he believes the death toll will rise because the shooting was actually done in the bushes, and that is why they found extra 8 bodies today to add up to the 2 that was found yesterday. And so they are still deep into the forest, and they are searching to see if they could find more. But for now, we can say that we have a death toll of 10.
And where have you visited, and what can you tell us with regard to what's happening now? Can you give us a mental picture of the developments there?
Yes, what I can also say is that when it comes to the Bimbilla Township, it is more like a ghost town. The Bimbilla Township that used to be a busy town because, this is a transit place for those that move from the southern part to the northern region. And so this has actually been a busy town. But aside buses that are passing, you wouldn't find most residents on the street. Most of them are just stuck in their homes. A few of them have opened their shops, and so they are seated outside their shops. Now, when you look clearly, you would also see that people are fleeing the town. I think when you called earlier, the line was bad because I had information that some residents were fleeing. So I was trying to see for myself it was true. And truly, I can confirm that I saw especially women, about 20 of them carrying their bags, and they were fleeing to the next community, which is called Pusuda. And so I can tell you that even men are also fleeing. And very soon we are definitely going to have a ghost town here in Bimbilla.
What have the police told you so far?
Come again,
what have the police told you? Have they been able to apprehend or arrest anybody?
Yes, according to the police, they've arrested 17 young men who are currently behind bars and then are going to assist the police in investigations. But because the police is also busy searching for supposed dead bodies, they haven't dealt with this issue yet. So these boys are currently behind bars while the police themselves, the commander together with his boys, are out there searching and scouting for more bodies, that is, if there are still some around.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Zubaida Ismail. She is TV3's Northern Regional Correspondent with that update of the Bimbilla crisis. So let's come in studio to wrap up this discussion with Bismarck Ayorogo Adongo. He is Executive Secretary for the Sada Zone Civil Society Organizations. In a brief summary, what do you think can be the solution, a panacea to all these conflicts? Is there a one tablet that can solve all this?
I'm not sure we have one single tablet that will be able to solve this problem. But the major one for me and for most of my colleagues in the coalition is because of increasing poverty. People think that they will be able to improve their livelihoods when they have access to chieftaincy. People think that they'll be able to make life if they are able to control some amount of resources by way of land. So, and this seems to be in line with the thinking of some philosophers that poverty is the parent of revolution and crime. So I think the worsening situation in terms of poverty and hunger, deprivation in the northern part of the country is the cause of the problem. Northerners are found everywhere in this country. Why is it that they are not so violent and aggressive elsewhere, but back home they are so? That is why some of us have always raised voice on the need for significant investment in the northern part of the country.
But here is the case: people want to come and invest, but because of the conflicts, they can't come. So
yes,
it's like pouring oil in water. It's very difficult to make a decision.
That is true, but we have one other area that we can deal with the situation is that the security agencies are not also doing enough with information on early warning signals. Okay, if I'm aware that there were enough early warning signals that the police or the security agencies could have responded swiftly to avoid a single soul being lost. Look at the Southern office. It is just by God's grace. Other than that, we have recorded other deaths there. If the youth that matched there
what we know
wanted
yesterday,
to be violent.
for instance, what we know is that the regional police commander was saying that they knew about the enskinment of a particular chief and warned them that they should not go according, I mean, they should not undertake that exercise. But they flouted it. So where can we lay the blame here? That the police picked their warning signal, they cautioned the people, warned them not to. They went ahead to do it. And this is what has led to the death of some 10 people. So I don't think that the
so when they were going to do it, you are well positioned as security officer to know better than the ordinary person. So when they flouted it, the order, what did they do? They folded arms and said, go ahead and kill yourselves? No. You certainly had to intervene more to say that we have given you the order, you are not supposed to go ahead and do it, and then bring
more measures to deal with
book.
Okay, all right. Certainly, in the next few days, we'll be coming back to you, Mr. Adongo, to find out how you think that resolution committee, especially for the business community in the northern part of the country. We've been speaking with Bismarck Ayorogo Adongo. He's the executive secretary for the SADA zone, and especially the civil society organizations within the SADA zone. Thank you very much for joining us, and we hope that relative peace and calm returns to the northern part of the country. This is still Midday Live on TV3.